सर कट रहा है.
नहीं now live comments will come here. Okay, how will it comments read the comments. When I was started
But
the comments will come here, but then how will you read it? You have to scroll down, see the comments.
morning, friends. We are just testing a few things. Are there any people?
Yeah, 8 people here. So the comments will have to please see the comments. Just a second. You just tell them testing.
Just testing. Give us just 2 minutes. Since this is the first time we are going live on Facebook, just trying to see that everything is in order. Just give us 2 minutes and we'll start.
For the comments, you just have to not scroll here. The
Achha.
comments and you can respond. Frame is not going to change.
So, but the camera still
camera
remains
will
on.
remain on. Thank you,
So
sir.
they can continue to
Yes,
see an
yes,
eye.
so you can respond from here.
All right, all right. Okay, thanks. Chal. Hi, friends. I'm just. Hi, Seksha. Hi, Vijay. Hi, Ajay. Hi, Pradeep. Hi, Manojit, Aditya, Parimal, Mahil, Mauli, Suraj. So great to see all of you all. Fantastic. It's an exciting Sunday morning. I am equally excited to share my thoughts with you. We'll just wait one more minute and we'll get going. Hi, good morning, Suraj. Good morning, Priyanshu. All right, so it's 11:30. Welcome, and I am extremely excited. I am Sarabjeet Sachar, and I'm extremely excited to join you in this live session where, because it's very close to my heart in terms of this interview question, especially the tell me something about yourself. And I'm thankful to you that you all have invested your time on a Sunday morning to learn about how to handle this most common and most important interview question, tell me something about yourself. I can assure you by the end of this session, you would have got a clear-cut 3-step approach to answer it effectively so that you can attract the attention of a recruiter. Tell me something about yourself is a very, very important question. It is one of the most critical ones, I would say. Why? Because it is asked in the beginning of an interview. And every interviewer wants to know about you. So tell me something about you is something where the interviewer starts the interview with, right? And also it helps because it's in the beginning. It's an opportunity for you as a candidate to start establishing a rapport with the interviewer. Very important. Because if you don't establish a rapport with the interviewer, that connect doesn't come. So it's an opportunity for you to do that. And also importantly, set the tone of the remaining of the interview. Believe you me, if you brand yourself well by answering this, tell me something about yourself, you will be actually directing the interviewer to ask you questions which you are good at. And that's how it happens. So that's why it's a very, very important question. But most of the times, I find that, people generally are not in a position to answer this effectively. And the general tendency, whenever I'm coaching even senior level salespeople, if I ask them how would you answer it, many times they say that, okay, I'm James D'Souza. I've got about 12, 13 years of experience. I'm from Goa and I work in this industry. That does not cut any ice. That does not cut any ice with the interviewer at all. Because that is something which is already there in your resume. And let's not waste that precious time, that 1 minute that you get to establish a rapport with the interviewer. So if that is not the case, then what is it that the interviewer is really looking at? See, the interviewer in the question, tell me something about yourself, is wanting to know what can you do for me? I'll repeat. He's wanting to know or she's wanting to know, what can you do for me? That is important. So you don't have to explain who you are, but what can you do for the interviewer? And how do I know all this? And why I'm so sure about it? Because I've spent about 35 years. And my initial years were in the top management in sales with media and pharma industry at the corporate top management level. After that, I started Aspiration in 2002. And I spent almost 15 years, more than 15 years, doing only recruitment and recruiting talent across the industry. So many candidates, we got them jobs. And now it's been about 6 years that I'm into job search coaching for sales professionals, primarily job search coaching. That's what I do. That's my area of expertise. So, with so much of experience behind me, I've seen that tell me something about yourself. The interviewer wants to know, what can you do for me? And that's when you crack. Just to make it simple and give you an example, for example, assuming you are a sales professional and you go to a networking event where there are a lot of clients, and all these clients, none of them are known to you, but you've gone with the purpose of networking and you want to ensure that you get some leads from those clients. Suppose that's the scenario. So if a client asks you that, what is it that you do, or tell me something about yourself, or you want to introduce, what will you do? It will look very odd if you say that I'm James D'Souza, I have 13 years experience, and I'm from this industry. That won't cut any ice with the client. It's something similar in case of an interview also. Why? Because the interviewer is actually your client and you as a candidate are marketing your services. It's precisely the same thing. What you would do in a networking event, you would do in an interview. So you would tell what you can do for that client, right? So remember that tell me something about yourself, the most important and the most common question. You got to ensure that you tell the interviewer, what can you do for the interviewer? So let me give you an example, personal example. Suppose somebody had to ask me, Sarabjeet, what do you do? Or, tell me something about yourself. If I had to say that I'm the founder and CEO of Aspiration, I've got about 35 years experience and I'm into coaching job aspirants from the sales background. Suppose I had to say that. What would the impact be? Versus if I had to say something in 3 steps, and this is something which you need to note, that whenever you are answering, you got to do it in 3 steps. The first step is tell the interviewer, like keep it in mind that you're going to answer them what you can do for them. So break it up into 3 steps, your response. First, tell them what part of your job you are really excited about and why do you think it's important. That's one. Second, immediately while framing your response, you must come to what is the business pain that you can solve. And third, what is your area of expertise and uniqueness which helps elevate that pain completely. So break it up into these 3. So I'll give you an example. Suppose somebody had to ask me as to what is it that you do, or tell me something about yourself as Sarabjeet. I would say coaching job aspirants from sales professional is something which I'm excited about, because I know that if I can coach them to find the right kind of jobs, it will make tremendous progress in their career, dramatic progress. However, I also know that these job aspirants are really stuck because they are using only online applications. They are time and again doing only that and they don't get the result that they desire. So that's a big pain. And that's where, my experience of 35 years and my understanding of sales as a domain, I get it into the play. And also, I come up with unique strategies and approaches to ensure that these job aspirants hit the hidden market, tap the hidden market, reach the decision makers, and then present their value proposition. So they don't have to depend on online application. That's what I do. Now that's my introduction. If somebody asks me, tell me something about yourself. So you see the difference? Again, breaking it up into 3 stages. Remember that. I'll just repeat those 3 stages for your benefit. 1, tell them what part of your job excites you and why is it important. Second, tell them what is the business pain that you can solve. And third, what is your unique area of expertise so that you can elevate that pain. Break it up into these 3 parts so that you present your answer in terms of what can you do for the interviewer. That is important. Let me give you another example. Suppose you are a sales professional and you are wanting to apply for a job, which is in B2B sales, where in the job description it is clearly mentioned that concept selling is most critical. Suppose that's the job description. So when you go for an interview and you ask, tell me something about yourself, remember that you got to tell them what you can do for the employer, not really who you are, because that is there in your resume. So what you can do, and break it up into three parts. So what should the sales, as you as a sales professional, say? I'm excited about B2B sales. And concept selling is something which I really love, because I know that selling a concept lays a foundation for the sales of the product. And I know that customers are not in a position to appreciate the concept, because most of the times the sales professionals, they're not having an expertise or mastery over how to present concepts. They straight get into the product. And that's where I have mastered concept selling. I'm extremely good with my sales presentations. I'm extremely strong with developing sales proposals which are customized. And I'm very, very strong with developing relationships with my B2B clients. And I crack those clients. See the difference? So this is how you structure your response whenever you are asked, tell me something about yourself. And one more thing you got to remember, that whenever you are appearing for an interview, do homework on the company. And while you have your own strengths, but find out what is uniquely required, specifically required for that job. Like in this case, I gave you an example of concept sales was important. So you bring your part about the concept sales. So every answer that you give of tell me something about yourself for say 6 different jobs, you will have to tweak your response 6 times differently and customize it according to each and every interview. That is very important. This you must not forget. All right. So I have given you a structure of 3 steps. I also have an article which you guys can receive. And most importantly, all you people who have spent time in being live with me on a Sunday morning, I'm going to give you a checklist absolutely free of cost, which you can download. I'll be uploading it in my comments also after this session. Please just download that checklist. It has got 3 questions, which are again very, very common. All those 3 questions you can answer. It's a complete checklist. So that's something which I wanted to add value, and I hope I've been able to clearly tell you about how to answer, tell me something about yourself, the most important question. So we can leave it now open for a Q&A session. I'd be happy to answer. Just let me have a look at your questions. You can please write your questions in the chat and I'll be happy to answer them. Okay. Jyoti Ranjan has a question. Please cover current attrition and massive offers. What will impact on employees who change job because of this? Jyoti, could you just clarify this, please? Okay, this is a good question. Yogesh Mishra, how much time should one take in responding the question, tell me something about yourself? See, this is a good question. What you can also do, Yogesh Mishra. Okay, Yogesh, to answer your question, what you can also do is many times you can use that approach. See, since this is generally the first question, whenever you are actually going to be answering this, it's going to be the first question. So you can also ask the interviewer that what would you, if you don't mind, I would just like to ask you, what would you like to know? Would you like me to run through my entire resume, or would you just like me to tell you about myself? If he says, yeah, just tell me about yourself, that's it. So it doesn't take more than a minute or 2 or 3 to explain about yourself. That's it. Because remember that this is the first question and you're just setting the tone of the interview. You don't have to get into real success stories and examples which will come in the interview. But the first question is very important because the interviewer should feel that yes, I think he's the candidate I want to know more about. That is the objective of this initial question of tell me something about yourself. And that is something which you need to answer. So it could be a minute, 2, 3, that's about it. Or if the guy says, no, take me through your entire resume, then that's different. Then you might have to take some time. But generally speaking, it is about 2, 3 minutes. And that's how, like the way I explained to you, in that 3 steps, you have to break it up and answer what can you do for the interview. Let me see some more questions. Stephen Raj is asking, what are the important things to keep in mind before attending an interview? Oh, excellent. Good question and a very important one though. You need to ensure that you have done your homework on the company and not homework which is just traditional homework. Homework which goes beyond tradition, beyond your general traditional approach. Understand the pain point of the company. Generally, I notice that people just apply for jobs and then when the interview call comes, they say, okay, fine, without any preparation. I don't recommend any of my candidates when I coach them, I make them do homework on the company's pain point, and I make them go to the extent of even talking to retailers, talking to even customers, so that they can really understand. And if you know somebody in that company, try and find out what the pain point is. That is the crux. My entire coaching is based only on that how do you ensure that you find the pain point of the company and then go prepared as a solution provider, not just as a candidate. Because you are ultimately, as I said, you got to wear the hat of a business consultant. You are marketing your candidature services, and you are actually going to go and tell a client who's an employer or an interviewer that this is what I can do for you. Once you are prepared with that, your confidence level will be much higher. So do prepare a lot in terms of understanding the business pain point. You should also understand the work culture of the company and go prepared that, okay, this is your pain, I can solve it. This is your problem, I can solve it. Remember that wear the hat of a business consultant and you are going to an employer or to an interviewer who you are going to actually give him a solution. That is important. Shashikala Shetty is asking, many times the role is very obvious, like in marketing. Wherein can I bring in my value proposition? Oh, in marketing also, there are so many specific things that you will be required to do in the job description. Means you have to study that job description. Sometimes it could be building the brand. Sometimes it could be pushing. Sometimes it could, while brand building remains one of the important things, but depending at what stage the product or the brand is, you will have to understand that what is it that is specifically required and then try and match with your own skills. So what you need to do, this is for everybody's benefit, I'll give you. What you need to do, take a piece of paper, draw a line in the center, left hand side, right hand side. Left hand side, write all your skills, all your transferable skills you got to write. Against each skill, write 2 stories of success on each. So in that question, Shashikala, marketing, if there are certain nuances, every job has a nuance. Depends on every company. It could be a startup. Maybe they need to create awareness. If it's a matured company, if it's an established company, they might have, maybe they want to change the usage of the product, or maybe they want to increase users to the product. So many things can happen. Depending on the objective, your skills have to be written and success stories have to be written. So once you are ready with this, you will be in a position to identify for which skill your success story has to be presented. And that is how you need to do it. So value proposition, without value proposition, there is nothing. Nothing. You have to have a value proposition. There is no job which you will go for without your value proposition. That is why people don't take them to the extent of ensuring that what are their skills, transferable skills that they can identify and then take out and customize the approach. That is important. Okay, Yogesh Mishra is saying sometimes time plays a crucial part. Yes, of course, time plays a crucial part. There is no doubt. That's why I said you can, you ask this question for benefit of everybody. He asked how much time You just need to ensure that you find the connect with the recruiter, the interviewer, and the interviewer should feel that, yes, I think he's a candidate who I want to ask more. Poonam is saying, can we have a session on how to make an appropriate resume? Sure, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Acha, Jyoti Ranjan Nath has clarified that my query in the current job market situation, high attrition. Yes. So currently there are, I was reading the other day that there are many people who are resigning from the company because primarily after this 2 years of pandemic, what has happened? Priorities have changed. Many people have reassessed their own priority personally, professionally. Some people want to shift their career. Some people want to um, uh, just kind of move out of the industry, or somebody wants a different kind of a role. Somebody wants a work from home. So many things have happened in the last 2 years that people are saying this is what it is, and then they tell the company, and if the company doesn't agree to that, they resign. So there is an attrition that is happening from that point of view. So from that point of view, you will find that there are many jobs that are available. It all depends on what your priorities are. So you got to assess your priority and discuss it with your company. And I think companies will be sensitive. If they are not sensitive, they are going to lose employees. Work from home, hybrid culture. In fact, we recently did a poll on LinkedIn where I asked everybody what is it that everybody would prefer. People said I would prefer a hybrid culture, and many organizations I know have actually got a hybrid culture now. So they are partly working from home, partly working from office, and some of the professionals are just coming to office once in 10 days to conduct a meeting, or once in 10 days, or once a week, and the rest everything is being done remotely. So if the job profile can be done from home, they are okay with that, except for factory or scientists, etc., who have to physically go. So those changes are happening, but more important is for you as a candidate to find your skills and find what kind of jobs are suitable to you, and how should you tap the hidden market. That is why you don't get the response, because just making online applications is not going to get you a response. You got to tap the hidden market and reach the decision maker directly. That is what I coach. That's my area of expertise, and in our company at Aspiration, we coach people to do that. Which is the best way to reply top to bottom or bottom to top about professional careers? Uh, Yogesh has again asked, Yogesh Mishra. A good question. You should ideally, you start with very briefly with what you did in the beginning, because even in our resumes, we recommend that the last 10 years tenure is something which is enough. Do not go beyond that, because somebody things have changed in 2 years. Like, things are changing as I'm talking to you. Just see how dynamic the environment is. So there is no question of talking about, suppose you have 12 years experience and 15 years experience, and you're talking about your first job, etc. You just got to skim through it, and keep in mind that everything has to be customized. Your response for every question has to be customized according to the need of the job, the pain of the job. So you got to build your story, get your skills up accordingly, so that you can ensure that you continue to find that connect with the recruiter. That is very, very important. Don't lose that. So briefly, to answer your question, briefly touch upon the earlier ones, but focus more on the last, say, 7 to 10 years of experience if you have that much, but your recent one if you have lesser. Ajay Painse is asking, is it okay to mention about few characteristics about yourself? Like, I'm very passionate about what I do. I'm a go-getter, good at multitasking. Of course, of course. See, tell me something about yourself is something which, what you can, I mentioned to you what you can do for the interviewer. And if it's your passion, if it's something that is multitasking, which is required, and as I said, it's your presentation and communication skills. These are something which are softer skills. They are also transferable skills. And if they are relevant to the job, you must mention that. And again, it requires that before you go for the interview, do this exercise. That is very important. Do that exercise to ensure that you are actually having your skills on this side and your success stories, and then picking up those skills which are matching with that. Those skills also could be soft skills. It could be skills like multitasking. It could be your passion. It could, but ultimately, you have to back it up with success stories that you delivered results. That is important. Don't just mention that, I'm very passionate. If you're passionate, you would have delivered result. That you got to prove, because the interviewer wants you to demonstrate. And today, if you all know that behavioral questions are very, very important. So if there is a behavioral question in the mind of the interviewer, he will always say that tell me how did you achieve it? Show me, demonstrate. Without a success story, you cannot. So whatever you say, Ajay, you can certainly do that. Abhinav is asking what question we would ask when someone say that anything you want to ask about company while ending the interview. Oh yes, very good question. In fact, I always encourage my coaching candidates to say that at the end of the interview, don't just leave the interview without it just saying thanks. Say that all right after the interview is over. Say, can I ask maybe one or two questions? And you got to prepare for those questions. You cannot just impromptu come up with questions at that time. And those questions should be pertaining again to the pain of the job, pertaining to the culture of the company, pertaining to the skills that you think are required. So it can be also a reconfirmation that, okay, I have understood and you have met me. Thank you very much for your time. I just wanted to understand that I hope with the kind of skills I have, is there something else that I need to know about the job so that I can deliver the job better? Ask that kind of a question and say that, okay, I also understand that you are looking for this kind of a candidate. Am I right in that? You get more information about where you are headed in that interview and also ask about the work culture of the company. I just am tempted to add that never ask this question, what is the salary you're offering in the first interview? Never. Don't do that because you have to establish your value. So I think that is a very important thing to ask and do that. Prepare for certain good questions pertaining to the company. And you must ask questions. Don't end the interview without questions. Um, Sachin is saying, I completed my computer engineering after 1.5 years. I switched to financial sector with PG degree in securities market. Now I want to switch back to the IT field. Where should I focus in the interview when I'm back to the interview? Please guide. Mm. So from computer engineering, you switch to financial and you want to go back. Again, if that, see, first of all, uh, when you switch to the financial sector, there must have been an objective. I always tell people that when you have shifted industry, always ensure that your industry shift serves as a learning. Doesn't matter if you didn't kind of so-called succeed. I don't believe there's anything like success or failure from that. It's only experience. So whatever you learn from that experience of moving to the financial industry, carry that also and be proud about it that you took a decision to move out and now you want to move back. So when you're focusing on the interview when you go back to the IT industry, obviously you will look at again specifically what the IT industry interviewer is looking at and prepare accordingly. But carry this learning of your shift of industry and whatever experience you had also along with you because that shows adaptability, that shows that you are willing to learn. It also shows that you are an open-minded person who has experimented on something and has a lot of self-esteem and enjoys that, okay, fine, I shifted a job, fine, means there's nothing like a mistake. I learned from it. I want to come back here because I realized that I was in the IT industry, I was doing very well. I enjoyed that. I moved to the financial industry, I came here, but I realized that I think this is where my heart lies. I'm going back. I'm coming back. So my IT skills are something which I always bring to the table, and then again start fine tuning your approach according to what the IT industry and the interview requires. What are the most crucial, Basab is asking, what are the most crucial points to cross check regarding any company jobs that I must search before sitting for an interview? I answered this just to kind of recap. In fact, there is a lot of material on our website, lot of checklists. The checklist also which you will be downloading will give you some tips, and there are many other checklists that are there on doing research on the company and what kind of points. As I said, the business pain point, the work culture, what are the kind of nuances that you're looking at, specific things that they're looking at, what are the kind of soft skills they're looking at. There are some soft skills, and just to reiterate, soft skills are something like communication skills, they are learning ability, they are ability to be patient, they are perseverance. All these are soft skills, and they become very important to be able to perform under unpredictable circumstances. After the pandemic, we know we have to perform under unpredictable circumstances. What will happen tomorrow, we don't know. So all these skills have become very important. So you got to do research and find out what are the skill requirements, what are the business pain points, but spend a lot of time in understanding the business pain point. That is very essential. If you do that, I can assure you your confidence level will be high because ultimately wear the hat of a consultant and go to solve a problem of the interviewer, nothing else. Pradeep Ghosh is asking, hi sir, is it advisable connecting with the recruiter after submitting the application? Is a cover letter mandatory? Sometimes in LinkedIn you do not have that. Very good question. You have to follow up with the interviewer, but also I just posted a video. In fact, or rather, I'm going to post that video tomorrow. You will get an answer to the question as to when to follow up. See, do not follow up immediately after the interview. Don't do that. As in, suppose the interviewer has said that, okay, I'll get back to you. It'll take about 2 or 3 days to get back. Do not suddenly in 2 days get anxious and you have not heard from them and start following up, or on the third day. No. Wait for 24 hours. 24 to 48 hours beyond the committed time by the interviewer, and then only send an email. And there has to be a nice email which has to be strategically sent, and that is what we coach people on. In our program, our job search program, we coach people on what to write and how do you develop a pitch letter so that it really attracts the attention of that recruiter. That is important. LinkedIn, you do not have that. Now, LinkedIn is frankly, while I'm wanting to limit it to interview questions, but I'll just mention LinkedIn is not your resume. LinkedIn is a branding platform. It's a professional networking platform, which is what we use for a hidden job search program. We teach people how to use LinkedIn to reach out to the decision makers and build a conversation. And that is what LinkedIn is all about. LinkedIn is not to attach a cover note and make an application. Even if there is no provision in a job posting, like if you're referring to LinkedIn or Naukri, and there is no, what you can do, I'll give you a tip. It's a golden tip, and that's the secret I'm giving you. Many times people ask me, application ke liye there is no space. There is only a resume that can be uploaded. There is no cover note I can attach when I'm uploading. Make it a 3-pager. Your resume is 2 pages. Add another cover note and make it a 3-pager. Becomes a document of 3 pages, and just upload the full thing together. But write the cover note which is customized. That means it has to be a pitch letter. So that's also a strategy you can use. And I'm giving it to you as a secret because this I've learned and advised so many of my candidates, and they get huge success. All 3 can be uploaded together. So you will solve that problem. But still, I'm not for online applications, frankly. It doesn't work. Frankly, the success rate that I've got from people is very, very low. That's why we have that hidden job search market. And that is what we need to tap. And that is what we coach in our hidden job search program. Stephen is saying, how can I convey to the interviewer where I lack in some of the key skills for the role, but I'm ready to learn that? Very, very good question. See, there are 2 kinds of skills you have. One is the skills that you have ready, and it matches the job description. The second set of skills you have is potential. You have the potential to learn, because there's nothing that you cannot learn, right? Anything is possible. So if that is the case, then it depends. There are, suppose, 8 skills or 9 skills which are key in that job. And out of that, suppose, you have, say, about 5 or 6 key skills which you are very good at. But there are the balance which you are not so very good at. So if there are other skills where you have been able to really motivate the interviewer, the other skills you have to mention that this is something which are, these skills are something which I am willing to learn. And I have learned it in the past. I don't have it ready, but this was a skill which also I learned, and again demonstrated with a story that you have that learning ability. Demonstrate to the interviewer that what you are saying means sense. That means, you are committed to that. You will be able to learn what you are saying. So give the confidence to the interviewer that you are able to learn, and prove it and demonstrate with a success story where you learned something from your past experience. If you can do that, so be confident that these are the skills, sir, I have it. And these skills which you are saying, the remaining 4 or 3 or 4, which you think I don't have, but I have the potential to learn. And I have used my learning ability to grow into every role. In the past also, I have moved from one role to another and I have learned something new. The same thing I want to do. But you must be able to convince the interviewer that on the remaining core skills, you have a match. It cannot be that you don't have a match anywhere and then you're trying to do that. That is something. Now, Shashikala is asking, I think we'll have time only for one last question. Shashikala is asking, when asked about weakness, will it help in stating the facts or need to tweak it? See, my response to this every time, and I tell people that Yes, this is a tricky question. What is your weakness? But you must be in a position to be very proud about your learning experience. As I said, there is nothing like a strength or a weakness. You'll have to change your perspective of how you look at yourself, how you look at your experience. So there is only experience. So the way to present it would be that these are my strengths, like we have seen. Now he says, what is your weakness? The interviewer asks you. Say that, like everybody else, there are areas that I need to improve upon. So certain areas that I have to improve upon on a scale of say 1 to 5, 5 is on the higher side. I'm not rated maybe at 4 or 3, I'm rated at 2, but I'm conscious about it. And in the last 6 months, this is what I have done to improve that skill. Mention that and feel proud about it that, sir, like everybody else, I also have areas of improvement. But importantly, I'm conscious about it. And on a rating of 1 to 5, I have over the last 6 months, say 6 months back, I was here, and in the last 6 months, I have done this. And I have improved from a rating of 2 and I've come to 3. So it is important for you to show to the interviewer that you are aware of it and you are consciously doing something about it. That is important. So, because this is a trap actually, this is a question which is not, see, nobody will hire you for your weakness, right? They're just asking you that question to see how you respond. What is the confidence and what is your mindset? What's your psychology? What's your mindset? Very important. If you look at weakness as, oh my God, I'm very weak in this area, there's nothing like weakness. We are all learning. I also make so many times experiences my friend. If I don't get that result, I fine tune my approach and tweak it and use something else. So that is how you need to present, and because that is what the interviewer wants. See, that is the attitude which the interviewer wants in a candidate, that can he look at his areas of improvement and is he conscious and is he open-minded and is he doing something about it. That's it. Even the interviewer has weaknesses. So thank you very much, friends. Sorry, I would love to continue, but I think because of paucity of time, we'll have more sessions. I'm sure. I promise you that. We'll have more of these sessions and we'll continue to answer. You can always write on Facebook to me and send me your questions. We will try and organize these kind of sessions. And again, to remind you that I have given you a checklist, which I will be posting the link for in my comments below the video. And you can download that for free. It's wealth. And also certain questions. You can also be a part of my mailing list, which we actually have at Aspiration, where every week we mail you tips about job search. And there are so many of my videos that are available. You can see these are all free resources. So I wish you all the best and thank you very much. I thoroughly enjoyed and I hope I've been able to add value to your professional life. Until we see you again. Thank you.